Represent your shit. Need a horn and a drum roll. Turn up, yeah!
I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
Now it's time to go to work. Represent your shit. Need a horn and a drum roll. Turn up, yeah!
I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
Now it's time to go to work. Represent your shit. Need a horn and a drum roll. Turn up, yeah!
I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
Now it's time to go to work. Represent your shit. Need a horn and a drum roll. Turn up, yeah!
I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
Now it's time to go to work.
My mic was muted. My dumbass forgot to unmute the mic. How's everybody doing on this Friday night? You on 863 Seminole TV. It is your boy, the host, the one and only POLK, a.k.a. AloMoney, a.k.a. the goddamn truth. And as you can see, we closing that early signing period strong. Because if you're going to do it then, do it big then. All right, got the camera good. How's everybody doing tonight? Yes, sir. No Nation has a big reason to be excited, and not just because you got Malik Mclean back in the fold. You know why else? Devontae Love Taylor announces he will be back next year. That is amazing news. Because if we're able to land, regardless if we're able to land a tackle in the transfer portal or not, he's good. He's your tackle. But if you're able to land a quality left tackle in that portal, man, you slide Love Taylor at guard. Oh my God. Your whole side of that left side of that line. Bam. Don't got to worry about that. Love Taylor announces he will be back. Oh, Robert Cooper announced he's not finished yet. He is coming back. That's great for the depth of that defensive line. That's great for the depth of that defensive interior. Amari Gaynor also, same thing. I'm coming back. Unfinished business. A lot of Noles are on board, man. A lot of Noles are on board. Oh, and by the way, you did bring back home your second highest rated recruit in the class at a position of major need. Malik Mclean, he is raw, but he has the physical abilities that probably no other receiver on that roster right now has. No other receiver is 6'4", 6'5", can run like that and go up and get the ball like that on the roster right now. No other guy. Malik Mclean will see early playing time. Shout out to Ron Dugans, a guy that I've been extremely hard on. Shout out to Ron Dugans. You pulled it off. Everything I'm hearing is we're not going to take any credit from Ron Dugans. People are trying to say, oh, Mackenzie Milton got this. No, we're not going to take any credit from Ron Dugans. I'm not saying Mackenzie Milton didn't reach out possibly. The fact is, from everything I'm hearing, Ron Dugans sealed the deal on this one. Shout out to Dugans, because quite frankly, Dugans, you needed this one. Because your on-field product is looking very suspect, and who else have you recruited? So you needed this one. So we'll give credit to Ron Dugans when it's due. He was able to pull Malik Mclean back into the fold, back over to the good guys. And shout out to Odell Higgins. Because George Wilson, a guy that we all pretty much knew was going to be on in this class. But shout out to Odell Higgins for pulling it off. Shout out for Odell Higgins for getting this 6'5", extremely raw but very talented athlete. Guy's actually a basketball player, but he's explosive. So shout out to Odell Higgins for pulling that one off. FSU closes early signing day extremely well. Shout out to that. Let's get to a roll call real quick. 27 people here. Andrea, close the door. I called you. Let's get to a roll call real quick. 28 people in the building. Hit the like button on your way in. We do have a little boxing on here in the back because Triple G is about to fight here in the back. Not a big Triple G fan, but it's boxing, so I'm tuning in. So I think that main event's coming up actually right now. So let's get to this roll call. 31 people in the chat. Hit that like button on your way in, folks. Giuseppe, D. Thompson, Rodney Jackson, Wolf Strange, Ray Fitty, Hurricane T2I in the building. T2I, if you're still listening, man, feel free to join the chat and you can talk about your hurricane class if you want to. Feel free to join the chat and we can make this a little FSU thing like we usually do. If you're willing, if not, I get it. All good. Tyler in the building, Antonio Dupree, Brian Walters, Kusami Hayes, Island Boy, Bobby, Made in Dade, Sandra Gordon, Serve 5, Jose Garcia, No Blooded, Derek Thompson, and I think Corey Hall, and Brandon B, Mayan King, Todd Pope. We are in here thick tonight, folks. Jen Fari, we are in here, and we have some stuff to be excited for. They closed the way I said they would close, or at least the way I thought they would. Now, Lee Hunter ended up signing with Auburn. That was unfortunate. I said if Lee Hunter didn't sign, we were going to push hard for that, but he ended up signing. But they got Malik Mclean back. He owed me this. Malik Mclean is the one who owed me this. I was the one on here telling you how great Malik Mclean was, and in mid-live stream, he decommitted on me. I hit him up and say, "Yeah, you owe me this." And he came through, came back on the fold. Ron did seal the deal. So we got him. We got our guy, Raider, Noel in the building, Noel squad. We got him. We were able to get him back. Again, a raw prospect, but a guy that I'm extremely high on. And we were able to get him back. And quite frankly, we needed him. With him out of the way, with Love Taylor saying he's coming back, this staff can really now focus on what they need to focus on, and that's the transfer portal and closing out on National Signing Day. Now, don't expect a big haul at the end here. I'm thinking 3 or 4 guys at the max you'll see on National Signing Day. Destin Hill, Contravion Hargrove, maybe a guy like Victory Vaca if they want to. I expect them to hit that transfer portal hard for the defensive tackles, but if they want to bring in a high school guy, I think that's one that probably your biggest shot. I would go 1,000% in on Tywone Malone right now, and I'd be doing and telling him anything he needed to hear to get him to sign. Tywone Malone right now would be my top priority because you definitely have to keep recruiting Destin Hill, but I don't think I think Hill is going to end up in his class, but I think Hill knows I think Hill right now probably already knows where he got to go. Yes, you have to keep recruiting him, but I don't think it'd be hard to me. It may be hard for a team because the only other team that I've heard really in the discussion for Hill is UF. Unless LSU comes and says you want to stay home. So I'm about 3 or 4 guys. Again, Hargrove and Hill are the obvious 2. I think a guy like Victory Vaca, if they want to get that defensive tackle. If not him, I think a DB like Philip O'Brien is definitely in the mix. Recent Auburn decommit with ties to FSU. And you may look to see them replace Kimo Macaniole. So if we want to address Kimo Macaniole real quick, I think it's safe to say he will not be a part of this class. With the entire class signing early, everyone but him. While I like him, you've been committed this whole time and you didn't commit. I think they are going to move on from him. We're not going to put all the effort it took to get you in the first place. We're not going to continue to recruit you that hard December, January, up into February, when we can have our focus elsewhere on potentially bigger and better targets. Virginia Tech has had recently like 3 offensive linemen enter the transfer portal. I'll take my chances with those guys And we could probably sign a better offensive guard or offensive lineman than Chemo in next year's class. So I believe they're going to move on from Chemo. Do not expect him in the class. And if maybe another offensive lineman rears, you could see that. But right now, I guess my three guys I'd say they're going to close on is like Phillip O'Brien, Hargrove, and Hill. They may add another couple too. I think they also want to keep the numbers down a little bit for that transfer portal. The transfer portal is going to be big, I believe. It has to be big. If they can get a legit left tackle in the transfer portal, some big time. Big time is, I'm just using the word big time. I'm not saying he has to be a future NFL prospect, but a quality left tackle, and you can slide Love Taylor in the guard. Maurice Smith, Robert Scott, two freshman linemen who are probably outside of Love Taylor, two your best linemen this year. So I think those positions are set. And we'll assume Donta Lucas stays on the team. He'll be your right guard. And even if he doesn't, I believe Darius Washington is more of a fit at guard. You move him into guard. Or if Lucas leaves, maybe they address the guard in the transfer portal as well. There's a ton of players in the portal already. There's going to be a ton more to come. This team is going to look drastically different next year. But we got some good consistency going forward. And I think the staff closed on a positive note and on a fairly strong note. Fairly strong note. Let's go to the comments, see what you guys talking about. Triple G is coming up behind me if you're interested. Dugans needed this bad because the wide receiver room is the worst room. I agree, Kusama. Dugans needed this bad. I don't know if it saves the job. Now, some stuff recently came out, but it's not really recent news. Odell Higgins and Ron Dugans both had contract extensions, but apparently these extensions happened in the summer, but the news just recently came out. So I guess they won't be getting fired. Wasn't calling for Odell's job. Dugans, as you guys know, I have been calling for his job. With that said, Dugans needed this because your wide receivers can't catch. You ain't recruited nothing. What? As a position coach, yes, coaching's cool and all. Your main job as a position coach is to be able to recruit. And while I like Joshua Burrell, I like him. Your top recruit can't be a ranked 500 and something player in the nation. It can't be. So shout out to Dugans for pulling this one off because he needed this. Imagine seeing Brian Robinson with healthy and Malik Mclean. Imagine, Brandon B, I'm one step ahead of you. Absolutely, you're right. Imagine you sign a class of Destin Hill, McLean, Burrell. You're going to add that to the guy with a ton of potential in Portier, who's big and long, Brian Robinson, like you just said. I mean, man, they may not even be done at the wide receiver position. They may go for a transfer guy because that is an extremely young wide receiver room. Let's get some more leadership in that wide receiver room. You know, your two leaders, not saying that they're not leaders, but I don't know if your two leaders can only be Pookie Wilson and Keyshawn Hilton. You might need another guy in there. Mayan King changed his name. He was the boy wonder. I'm good to see you. Glad you changed your name from the chocolate boy wonder. I would much rather call you Mayan King. Shout out to Mayan King. Todd Pope says, I hope they can get victory. Vodka, what are you hearing about Malone? Pretty quiet, to be honest with you. I haven't heard really anything. I just know he's crystal ball to Ole Miss. I know he's crystal ball to Ole Miss. Ole Miss also has a good baseball program, which is one of the reasons why he likes Ole Miss. He likes Odell a lot, and he's very interested in FSU's baseball program. I think we're in the mix. They got to go 110% in on him. That they want him. I'm not going to say they can get him, but you gotta give Ole Miss a run for their money. That should be the top priority right now. Triple G is about to start fighting. That should be the top priority right now. To me, it's Tywone Malone because I think Hill's all but in the bag. I'm not saying you stop recruiting him, but I think you're in a good spot for Hill. I think you're in a good spot for Hargrove. Malone is the guy. If you're able to get Tywone Malone, hey, I won't even talk about not being able to recruit no more. Does FSU have a chance with Terran Arnold? No. Terran Arnold's not coming to Tallahassee. Or should I say he's leaving Tallahassee. He's leaving his home city to go. I think Terran Arnold's going to end up in Georgia. He's like best friends with Xavion Sorensen, and Sorensen signed with Georgia. They've talked about wanting to play together. If it's not Georgia, it's going to be Bama. Those are the two teams. And it's unfortunate. And that has been the one, not one, but probably the major criticism I've had of this staff is when you look at the amount of safeties FSU came into this year with the potential, I mean, just off the bat, again, Terran Arnold, Corey Collier, Amari Harvey, and even a guy like a Dink Jackson, who at one point was crystal ball to Florida State. You whiffed on all of them. Two of those guys are from Tallahassee, in Amari Harvey and Terran Arnold. And one of the guys is a dad was an FSU Seminole. So, or FSU Seminole. But you know what I mean? Like, how does that happen? How do you whiff on all of those guys? That has really been my major criticism of this staff, is whiffing on 4 top-notch safeties. You didn't grab one. And quite frankly, you were out of the running for all of them pretty early. Collier committed to UF fairly early. Harvey committed to Auburn early. Terrion hasn't committed, but he pretty much wrote Florida State off about 2-3 months ago. You didn't even make those recruitments interesting. Tyler think they may have come back in the fold, but he wouldn't count on that one. I'm not counting on it. We'll see, though. They need to get that linebacker from USC. I'll say we get at least 5 more. What about Dobbs from Michigan State in the portal? What up, T2Y? Hold on. Chat jumped on me. So Rose thinks Hargrove, O'Brien, Vaca, T. Dawson, and Dustin Hill. I could see all of that. Dawson, I'm not quite sure about that one. Triple G's on his way to the ring right now. I didn't hear about the Lee Hunter commit to anyone. If so, yeah, he signed. He already signed to Auburn. He's out of the picture. Cliff Raphael. Give me an LT, a wide receiver or 2, a DT, and a linebacker, maybe in the portal. I think you definitely got to continue to address the offensive line. You need a immediate starter at O-line, absolutely. I think you need a veteran presence at wide receiver. I don't really think you need 2. I think you just need 1. You think you got, especially if you land Dustin Hill. Dustin Hill's gonna. If you think Malik Mclean's gonna play day 1, Dustin Hill is going to step on and probably be the most talented wide receiver on the field day 1. Coop coming back definitely helps the defensive tackle room. I definitely wouldn't mind adding 1 there. And linebackers are a bit interesting because they're so young. You've invested so much time into them this year. I feel like if you have a chance at a legit linebacker, you definitely add him. So, and I also wouldn't be against adding a transfer at the corner position either if you got a chance to. Triple G should make light work. Yeah, I agree. Again, not a big Triple G guy, but when you start fighting, Triple G has a habit of fighting these nobodies, bro. And then when he steps up in competition, he struggles. I expect him to probably knock this guy out in like 5 rounds. But Triple G is also getting older, so we'll see. Our success is upcoming. Our success this upcoming season comes down to the portal. We need that Hunter guy that's committed to Auburn. Yeah, he's already signed, so that's not going to happen. If I'm not mistaken, Lee Hunter's out of the picture. Lee Hunter already signed. True, they already had them contracts. Hit the like button. Michael Langston said FSU was done with the portal. Just going, I can't believe that. There's no way I can believe that. I mean, I'm, not calling Michael Langston a liar, but I think they're done with the portal. The only person they got from the portal is Mackenzie Milton. Last year, they brought in like 7-8 players from the portal. Why would they be done with the portal? With the ton of guys that's still gonna enter the portal and the ton of guys that are still in the portal looking for homes. I don't believe that. That's just me. Don't forget, we now have a QB to get these wide receivers the ball. So we should really see what Dugans can do with these new wide receivers. Well, I saw Chuba Purdy get guys the ball and guys flat out dropped it. I saw Jordan Travis get guys the ball and guys flat out dropped it. But I hear what you're saying. Mackenzie Milton should definitely make guys better. I hear what you're saying. Norvell definitely values size of receiver. Definitely. I got Arnold going to Florida, unfortunately. Okay. Arnold keeps post images of Gators. I think he's trolling them. I think he's going to be a Bulldog, personally. If the Gators are able to pull out Terrion Arnold and Corey Clare, that's going to be ridiculous, but I think he might be trolling them. It's between FSU and Auburn for Dawson, and we need another receiver. Cook was going to Florida too, but we see how that worked out. Based on how recruiting has gone, do you think we end up top 15? So Malik brought us back into the top 25. Top 15 is a big stretch. In order to get top 15, that means down the stretch, you're going to have to definitely hit on Tywone Malone, Destin Hill, Contravion Hargrove. That's just 3-4 stars off the bat. And then probably they're going to have to be some Phillip O'Brien. There's going to have to be some guys that we're not even tracking to finish top 15. Yeah, I don't know about top 15. Top 20 is possible. Maybe in the teens, maybe 19, 18 is possible. Again, depending on how you finish. I think top 15s is a bit of a stretch. Will you welcome Emmett Rice? If Emmett Rice wanted to come back, I'd take him back. I would take him back. Yes, but we are ranked 22 now. So did we not need another running back? Hargrove's the running back that I think they're going to take. And even if FSU does miss out on a running back this year, I think the running back room is fine. They recruited 4 last year. I mean, and again, even with the LaDamian Webb departure, you still are going to, next year, if you don't add another running back, you're still talking about Toafili, Jay Sean Corbin, Ja'Kai Douglas, Corey Wren. Oh, and by the way, Trayshawn Ward, who's emerged out of nowhere. And who knows, maybe Dante Sheffield comes back. I mean, you're still going to be 5-6 deep at the running back room. They need the portal. Yeah, when Langston said that, I was like, are you sure about that? There's no way I can see them just saying, well, we're not going to even try in the portal. I just don't see that. Why would you not? Oregon giving USC that work. POLK, why didn't you like Jake Garcia? It's not that I didn't like Jake Garcia. I think he's a talented player. I think he's a talented thrower. I just never entertained the notion that he was coming to FSU. Never entertained it. Never thought it was happening. They're done with the portal as far on receivers now. I can understand that. I can understand being done with the portal, maybe on receivers. I think if the right guy comes along, I think you take him, but I can kind of understand that. But there's no way they're just done with the portal. Norvell really pulled a couple blue chips at the last minute. I take top 20 all day, every day. If we land those 5 guys I listed, it will put us in the top 15, in my opinion. FSU got a QB that could throw the ball 10 plus yards in 10 of the plays in the game. Nice. What? So yeah, I mean, big news. When do we find out which players are going to be early enrollees? I believe Malik Mclean is an early enrollee. Who has the information? I know somebody probably here knows some of that information. I believe Malik Mclean said himself he was an early enrollee. And man, there were some other guys, but I can't remember right now. I'm trying to see if I can find it. There was I saw it somewhere. Somebody was talking about early enrollees. It wasn't that many. It wasn't that many. That walk-on number 38 who played last Saturday is a fast running back. Yeah, Trayshawn Ward. I thought he impressed me. I think he has a chance to contribute. Yeah, but Jake Garcia was thinking about FSU until Milton came here. I hear you, Sandra. I just never believed it. Even before Milton got here, I just don't really think he was ever really considering Florida State. I just don't. McLean is an early enrollee. They said if Trey Sanders got to, I forgot about Trey Sanders. I talked about that earlier this week, actually. Think about Trey Sanders. Until his name's in the portal, I kind of just don't even want to entertain it. First round just got started. But once Trey Sanders actually enters the portal, that'd be interesting. Why not go for a guy like Trey Sanders if you're Florida State? That's why that thing about Michael Langston saying FSU's done with the portal, I find that quite ridiculous. You don't know who's going to enter the portal. FSU season might be done, by the way. If you don't know, the weight game for tomorrow did get canceled. No big deal in my opinion. They were still able to get that. I'm assuming they were still able to practice all week like there was a game, and that ultimately I think that's kind of what mattered was practicing. Yeah. Milton got these players believing. Yes, McLean is an early enrollee, and there's some other ones. There's some other guys who are also early enrollees, and I can't remember. Who's texting me? Let's see. Let me check the class real quick. I'm trying to remember. If I see the names, it might trigger my memory. Are you going to watch the basketball game tomorrow? I'll probably watch it, but I probably won't be on live. As a matter of fact, I probably won't do a live stream tomorrow because I have duty tomorrow. I have to work tomorrow, so that one probably won't happen. Did the Wake game get canceled? Seriously, it did. The Wake Forest game for tomorrow did get canceled. Not enough players, apparently. Okay. McLean, I think, is going to be early. I think Patrick Payton might be an early enrollee. I think George Wilson might be an early enrollee. That might be it for all that I know right now. And I could be completely wrong on half of those, so I don't even know. Mackenzie Milton, Joshua Burrell, Malik McLean, Jackson West, Brian Estes, Joshua Farmer, Kevin Knowles. Those are all the early enroll. Well, Mackenzie Milton doesn't count as an early enrollee because he's a transfer. Yeah, he can go to Florida State right now if he wants. I mean, he can't play, but he can go on campus right now. But okay, Burrell, McLean, Jackson West, Estes, Farmer. And Triple G already done put the guy down on the canvas. So as you can see where this fight's going. And that was the first round. Judging by the Seminole Signing Day show, Fuller is getting one more year. Oh, I've been told you guys that. Fuller ain't going nowhere. I told you guys that. Fuller's not going anywhere. I came to that realization a while ago. Knowles, McLean, or Burrell. What they do, got some Canes. The Canes are always in here. They are always making their presence felt. What's good? So are we in the top 4 in the AC? We are in the top 4. Good night, Sandra. Thanks you for tuning in. It was good to see you. I think it's Clemson, Miami, and I think Pitt. North Carolina. I forgot about North Carolina. I don't know why I said Pitt. Where we just got ahead of Pitt. North Carolina. I don't see us really catching North Carolina. Where North Carolina, I think, is number 14. Yeah, I don't really see us catching North Carolina, but we'll probably finish 4. And the crazy thing about it is, if you look at all these classes, FSU has a lot smaller recruiting classes than all of these other schools. I mean, Virginia signed 24 players already, 22 2-stars. Pitt's got, 22 players, 19 3-stars. Virginia Tech's got 26 players. All 26 of them are 3-stars. I mean, Clemson, Miami, North Carolina are the guys that they're really out ahead. North Carolina actually has a better average than Miami as far as the star rankings or ratings. Miami, I think, just has more prospects. But you know what? We'll finish 4 and continue to build on that. Dugans and Hagens got extended. So if you transfer to a college, would you be on a scholarship? Yeah. Yes, you do. Stop being mean to the kids. I ain't being mean to nobody. Not yet. Not yet. My bad. Just got caught up in the fight behind me. So, again, FSU closed strong. We closed strong here down the stretch. So, I'm impressed. Or, I'm glad they were able to get a guy like Malik Mclean back. I'm glad they just didn't. That Dugans just didn't go in a corner and fold. That he actually fought for a kid that we needed, that we wanted. That Odell was able to grab us, a guy out of Virginia when we used to have a pretty solid pipeline out of Virginia. Virginia has a lot of talent up there. I mean, the Vicks, the Allen Iversons, Percy Harvins, all those guys are from Virginia. Levante Taylor was from Virginia. It's good to get guys back out of that area. George Wilson is extremely raw, but you know what? I like him. Man, Triple G's about to knock this guy out. I like McLean. You can feel the shift in the culture happening. I hope so, Tyler. I do. I hope so. I do hope that, oh, by the way, Marvin Wilson did declare for the draft today. I mean, I think we all kind of saw that coming, but Big Marv is declaring for the draft. I think that with I've said it in the past. I don't think everybody that left the program was a cancer. I don't want to pinpoint or put that on guys. Oh, you were a cancer. But I do think that the guys that left had a lot to do with, not all of them, like Lars Woodbay. I think that Lars Woodbay, one day he might be president of the United States. Seriously, he's an awesome kid. Injury never made him the same. And, I think they just didn't know how to use him after the injury. I hope he does well at Boston College. I mean, Jay-Sean Corbin going to run him over again when we play him, but I was the best nothing for him. With that said, I mean, there's other good kids like that. I do think, though, there are some guys that left that really had a negative impact on, I think, the mindsets of some of the younger guys. And I don't think you see that in this locker room anymore. And now you're going to get a bunch of new freshmen in here that are super hungry. You're going to get a quarterback in here who knows how to win, has won at a high level. Yes, UCF is not Florida State. Don't even get it twisted. But you know what? UCF's been a better program than FSU has been for the last few years. Mackenzie Milton has won more games at UCF than any Florida State quarterback has won in the same time span. So we can't, UCF, Mackenzie Milton, they beat Auburn as UCF. They beat Auburn. They won conference championships. He's gonna bring to me. He's gonna do the same thing that De'Aaron King did for Miami. As much as people won't talk about De'Aaron King, and I think De'Aaron King's limited as a passer, the one thing I gave De'Aaron King credit for from the jump, I said he brought a whole different mentality to that Miami locker room, and you can see it when they play. They are confident now when they play. De'Aaron King gave them a level of confidence that I don't think the Hurricanes had before. I think Mackenzie Milton does the same thing for you. We definitely need to recruit Florida better. That's no cap. That's 100% facts. 100% facts. We got to start recruiting Florida better. Got to start recruiting Florida better. Absolutely. Warren Thompson should be the leader of the team. Here goes James. Norvell said we're going to over-recruit. Why not? Why not? With all the attrition, and that's one thing that really is confusing me. And again, if you're not on FSU Twitter, I advise you to get on there and just see some of the stuff people talk about. You got people talking about, Norvell shouldn't recruit too much. They should just leave the class how it is now and dive into the transfer portal. How many players have we lost this year to transfers and opt-outs alone? I'm not even going to try to count it right now, but it's got to be in the double figures. Why not over-recruit? Why not? Why not recruit as many kids as you can and figure out who the hell can play and who the hell cannot? If there's one thing that Norvell is doing that I am 100% behind, it's the same thing I said. It's the same thing I said about Taggart, and Taggart refused to do it. And I'm not trying to make this Taggart thing, but just for some context here, Taggart refused to do it. That Norvell has done from, I'm not going to say day one, but I think once Norvell realized he couldn't win with the old regime, he got him the hell out of here and said, I'm just going to play extremely young, and I'm going to take my lumps with my young guys. I begged for Willie Taggart to do the exact same thing. I begged for Willie Taggart to say, I can't win with these guys. These guys are damaged goods. I'm just going to play my guys. Taggart refused. Norvell said, you know what? I'm not going to get anywhere with these guys. Are we going to lose? Yeah. Are we going to lose in spectacular fashion? Sure. But I'm going to take my lumps with my guys. And he's been doing it ever since. And I think you've seen the growth, actually. Even if the play on the field or the result on the field hasn't been wins, I do think you've seen maturation and growth on this team. And not only more so in their mindset than they're on the field. The on the field stuff is going to come with more physical development, but in their mindset, I think you've seen a lot more growth. And I wanted Taggart to be great. Coming from a guy who was like, I was begging Taggart, stop playing D-Jack. Stop. You're not going to arguably the worst bet until Leonard Warner came around. D-Jack was the worst linebacker I'd ever seen. Taggart kept throwing them out there. Taggart kept throwing Black out there. Now, granted, I'll give you a little bit of excuse on Black. We didn't have a lot of other options there until Jordan Travis got his transfer had got approved or whatever. But still, man, there was just, to me, a lot of things that was done wrong, right? Norvell said, you know what, I'm going to lose, but that's okay because next year, this is going to be my team imprinted by me. And, then we're going to have to judge Norvell for what it is. That's just my opinion. I know there's going to be a ton of people that don't agree with that. When does the tour of duty start? That is in, probably like March or something. I could be wrong, but I think March or end of February. I don't know. Don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Who do you think is the feature back next year, assuming we don't take a transfer running back and get Hargrove? I think even if you get Hargrove, he won't be the feature back. If we don't get like a Trey Sanders, obviously. I think Corbin's going to start off. It's going to be very interesting to see what weight Toafili's playing at next year. I think Toafili's like 180 right now. And you see how he, even at that size, he's been pretty damn good. Toafili comes in the next year at 200 pounds even. And Triple G just knocked him down again. Or 195. I think Toafili could eventually take that job. Milton beat Norvell. It's the 4th round. Again, Triple G fights these no-name bums. And then when he steps up in competition, bro, he goes the distance with guys like Danny Jacobs, Devranchenko. A lot of people thought Devranchenko beat him. Canelo. But, they still got smacked by those heels. Do you think we did better in this class so far on defense? So we definitely did better on defense so far. I mean, if just look at the entirety of the defense, you addressed your pass rush. Like everybody talked about the pass rush this year. That was the weak link going into the year, right? Even before one game was played, while everybody thought the D-line was going to be the best unit on the entire team, there was a consensus that our pass rush is still lacking. Interior should be amazing. That outside, a lot to be desired. Well, they addressed that. Even defensive tackle. Apparently they are set. Apparently Sean Bray Jackson is going to be a defensive tackle. I'll see how that pans out. I'm not so big on it, but you know what? Those guys probably know better than me. Joshua Farmer is another guy they're talking about moving into 3-tech. That I like that more so than Sean Bray, but they're kind of guys that are kind of built the same, even though I think Sean Bray's a little lighter. I would like to see him add another secondary piece. And the one position I can really only knock is linebacker. I mean, your linebackers are Eubanks, Shaheem, lower rated guy, but I think has potential. And then I guess Patrick Payton. But Patrick Payton's a guy who is an end or linebacker. I think they're going to use him as linebacker. I would like FSU to probably take a few more good linebackers, or at least one more like legit linebacker. You got a bunch of projects there at linebacker that I'm not really sold on, or mainly just one at line or two. Shaheem Brown, while I think he has a ton of potential, is still yet to remain how that develops and comes to fruition. And Eubanks, I again don't really have anything on him. I don't feel any type of way on him at all. But defensively is obviously the stronger of the two. Because offensively up until now, they've only signed Rod Orr, Brian Estes, Malik McLean, and Josh Burrell. Am I right or wrong? Oh, my bad. Jackson West, Kobe Gross. Yeah. But you have no running backs. You probably could stand to add another lineman or two. So I'll say defense. Whoever said we would stop recruiting is a straight up casual. It was guys, I think Chop Chat or something said that. Chop Chat or something said that they weren't going to recruit that much anymore and they were just going to add a guy or two and focus on the portal. Langston, chat skipped on me. Hold on. Langston said Norvell wants 27, 28 guys by National Signing Day. That I can see, and that's what should be. That's what they should do. Thompson gonna need better hands to be a leader. Facts of us plan. Antonio, that's what I said about Jameis at Tampa, getting everybody hyped up, but committing 3 turnovers a game. The older guys were too used to losing. You're right about that. I can't be mad at Norvell for moving on from guys. The young guys look good when the older guys left. I thought so too. They definitely look hungrier. If nothing else, they looked like they were hungry, played harder. They looked like it mattered more to them. There are too many times I saw some of those older players be losing and be celebrating because made a play, but you're down 25 points, but you made a play and you're celebrating on the field. I can't recall that happening after a lot of those guys left. Norvell is the real deal. We'll see. I'm not ready to crown Norvell Bobby Bowden 2.0, but I like what he's doing in some aspects, or some stuff I don't like. But I respect the fact that you go down guns blazing. If I'm gonna go down, I'm going down with my guys. If I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down with guys I brought in here, because I gave the guys a chance. I gave the guys I came in here with, I gave them a chance, and the Durdens aren't that good. Corey Durden might be the most overrated defensive tackle. I mean, when that guy wasn't playing beside Marvin, it was amazing how playing beside Marvin Wilson made him so much better. Because when Durden ended up being the focus, he was a no-show half of the time. More so than that. Cooper is more talented than Durden. So it's going to be amazing to see what he possibly does over there in North Carolina. But guys like that who talk a lot, but their games lack, I think a lot of those guys aren't on the team anymore. The Corey Durdens and the DJ Matthews. Who DJ Matthews had issues since day one. Norvell can get us to at least 8 wins in 2 years. The fact that this guy is still in the fight and he's been knocked down like 3 or 4 times already he's got heart. Yeah, he's got heart. That's the least you could say. Norvell can get us to at least 8 wins in 2 years, guaranteed. I don't know about more than that, though. Once Toafili is bigger, he's going to be a real deal. More experience. I'm calling 1 through 3 round pick. Got you. Triple G is just playing around in there. Yep, absolutely he is. Hi is Kim. Alex Atkins should get a raise. Supposedly Sean Bray is listed at 255 now. Still got to put 20, 30 pounds on him. Yep. With Love Taylor coming back, the O-line should be solid. Especially if you can get another tackle. Give me another tackle, and yeah. I think Love Taylor has been great playing tackle, but I think he would excel as a guard. I think guard is his strength. Give me another tackle. I think FSU is about to restore order in the ACC. What's your thoughts on the tight end room? I think the tight end room has been drastically improved. First of all, they added a ton. First of all, we have a ton of numbers in the tight end room right now. So even in guys you didn't even see this year, but you look at the tight end room next year. Cam McDonald said he's coming back. I forgot to talk about that. Cam McDonald is coming back. They got to figure out how to really get him more involved, though. But Cam McDonald's coming back. You still got Wyatt Rector in there. Still got the walk-on Preston Daniels. You still got a guy like Carter Boatwright, who we didn't see at all this year. He'll still be a freshman next year, but he'll be a year in. Probably be a lot bigger, stronger. Marquise Douglas, another freshman that we didn't see at all this year, former basketball player. We'll see if he ever pans out in anything, but he's on the roster. Oh, and you brought in Jackson West, who was a guy who I think will eventually excel. And then Kobe Gross, who I expect to see right away. Oh, and Jordan Wilson, UCLA transfer, who, if he doesn't rupture his Achilles, he's probably your number 1 tight end this year. And, that's 8 guys in that tight end room. Tight end room has drastically improved. It's drastically improved. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't think Cam McDonald is utilized enough. He could be a weapon on third down in the red zone. The cancer is gone. Let us play football. You know what transfers didn't end up affecting us really at all? Laybourne. Absolutely. We need linebackers. We definitely need linebackers, Aces. I don't disagree at all. I think we should use McDonald like Pitts from Florida. If we get Tyler Grubbs, that'd be great for the linebacker room. Okay. I don't even know who that is, but I'll look him up right now. Let's look up Tyler Grubbs. Tyler Grubb's rivals. Louisiana Tech inside linebacker. Is he a transfer? No. Says he enrolled August 1st at Louisiana Tech. This is another Tyler Grubbs. I don't think we're getting this one, guys. Do you think any of the new recruits will be able to help on special teams? I think that's where a majority of them are going to get. So let's talk about the class. I didn't really talk about the class after the fact because pretty much everything I covered in the preview to the class happened the way I thought it would happen. But if we want to talk about the class in and of itself, I haven't heard any on either. My guess would be J-Rob goes or tries himself out in the pros, and that Kando would come back. That's my guess. What's up, Canes for life? Now back to what I was about to say. I think if you look at the class as a whole, and we think about, okay, who's going to be a day one type of contributor and who's going to, who's going to take some time to get on the field, just from what we have right now. Because remember, man, there's a whole another national signing day to go. What you see right now is not the final product. FSU will add more. Knocked him down again. This is ridiculous. This corner should probably stop it. Let's go. Let's look at the class. We'll just go through it quickly by name of who we think is going to contribute right away. So I think the Hunter Washingtons, the Omarion Coopers, the Malik Mclean, those three off the top, I think will be able to contribute right away. There's going to be plenty of time in that defensive backfield for those guys to try to make their presence felt. Let's face it, our corner play outside of Asante Samuel was nothing to write home about. Those guys are going to come in and have a chance. Now, you got this kid named Damori Tate who's going to be eligible next year. So I expect Damori Tate to come out in full force and be ready to lock at least one of those corner spots down. But that's, it still leaves a whole nother spot out there. Maybe Jerrion Jones picks his game up. Maybe Akeem Dent picks his game up. Who knows? Maybe Miko Dotson comes back and is able to play. But there's going to be opportunities at corner. Again, I already talked about Malik Mclean. The wide receiving room is probably the weakest link on the offense, even more so the tight ends. That wide receiver room, Malik McClain's going to come in there. He's going to be the only 6'5" wide receiver that can do the things that he can do off the jump. Malik McClain's going to get an opportunity to play. Chambry Jackson's going to be a question. If their intent, hold on, my son is crying. God damn. Hey. Man. What's up, man? So Chambry Jackson's going to be the question. If they're intent on him being a defensive tackle, he probably doesn't play early. Because not only do you have, again, I said it before, not only do you have to put weight on these kids, you got to put the right kind of weight. Then he's got to get used to playing in that weight. It's dead. Go get the charger, okay? Then he's got to get used to playing with said weight. If they're intent on using Chambry as a defensive tackle, I wouldn't expect much from here year one. Rod Orr is another one. I think initially, Rod Orr is initially I say he's a project guy. Rod Orr is a guy that I think is extremely raw when I watch him. All right, fight's over. Like everybody thought, we can turn that crap off. Rod Orr is a guy that, again, is extremely raw. But Atkins was able to do a lot with a guy in Robert Scott, who I don't think anybody thought was going to be a day one contributor. And while Robert Scott wasn't a day one starter, he ended up pretty much being the de facto full-time starter after, 2 or 3 games was when they put Robert Scott in. You could see Rod Orr, if he comes along, Rod Orr could be your starting left tackle at some point next year and move Love Taylor inside. But I don't expect a day one contributor out of Rod Orr. Patrick Payton's going to be interesting. George Wilson's going to be interesting. I do think you'll get some day one snaps for those guys, just for the fact that there's no other defensive end on the field like what those kids are. 6'5", twitchy athletes. You can't name another one on FSU's roster right now. That alone is going to get those guys opportunities. And unfortunately, I think everybody else is probably going to be special team contributors. Especially a guy like Shaheem Brown. Outside of Kobe Gross gets tight end snaps off the rip. But a guy like Shaheem Brown will make Jordan Eubanks, Kevin Knowles even. Byron Turner might get some burn at defensive tackle because Josh Griffith's got plenty of snaps as a true freshman as well. So you might get Byron Turner in there. But the Jordan Eubankses and the Kevin Knowles and those guys and Shaheem, yeah, those guys are going to be the guys that contribute on special teams. I think absolutely those are going to be your guys that contribute on special teams off the jump. Damn, with all them tight ends, can we do magic with 2 or 3 tight end sets? We'll see what they try to figure out. Hell, you can put Cam McDonald at wide. They could put Cam McDonald at wide receiver if they really wanted to. Landon Dickerson, an old lineman that left FSU for Bama, is balling right now. Did he leave because of coaches? I believe so. I believe Landon Dickerson definitely left because of coaching. He also couldn't stay healthy at his time in Florida State. Hunter Washington will get some burn. Malik Mclean too. Hunter Washington, what up? Irv, got it. Brownlee going to be good. Demore Tate was a 5-star. Brownlee has looked better than Dent and Jones. He's more competitive. Forgot all about Brownlee, but you're absolutely right. Brownlee, Demore Tate, they're going to come in maybe your de facto starters. But I think Amarion Cooper and I think Hunter Washington can compete. I think they can push. Farmer and Chambry play early, and maybe Peyton. I think Brownlee will be all ACC second team next year. McLean could be our next Kelvin Benjamin. That kid play hard. He's in position. They're starting him at end, and by his sophomore, junior year, he will be inside. See, the thing about starting, well, I like Chambry Jackson. It's so interesting. I really think they're looking to get George Wilson more snaps than Chambry Jackson. It'd be interesting to see. I think Brownlee is going to have our corner spots. Brownlee, you're right. I forgot all about Brownlee when I said that. Again, your stars could be Demore Tate and Brownlee, but I still think Hunter Washington and Amarion Cooper can come in and compete for something. Oregon and USC is currently playing a good live game. I was watching some boxing, but it'd probably be better to have that on in the background. Let's check that game out. What game is the Oregon USC game on, guys? I'll put that on in the background because that Triple G fight was a joke, just like I thought it was going to be. Love your show for real. Hey, Danny, thank you so much. I love the fact that you guys are here just talking football. Norvell spoke highly of Rod Orr. I speak highly of Rod Orr. I think he's a franchise. I think he's a future. I legit think Rod Orr is a future NFL prospect, man. Hold on. Okay, TV's acting funny. There we go. I think Travis J should get some burn on offense at receiver. I think they need to focus. I don't, I kind of hear you. Charles Woodson was able to do it, so I kind of understand you. Let's get Travis J to be consistent at safety, and then I think then I think maybe we can talk about moving him around. But can he get consistent at a safety first? Travis J also dealt with a little bit of an injury this year, so let's get him healthy. Let's get him consistent. Trying to find this Oregon USC game. There it is. Pac-12 championship game too. Okay, let's get him healthy. Let's get him consistent first. Oregon 14, USC 7. To me, man, if USC wins this game, to me they got a better, more credibility to be in the college football playoff than Ohio State does. Anyway, I think read that one. Toafili could be all ACC wide receiver. He's that talented, but can he stay healthy? Toafili hasn't been banged up, so I don't know what you mean, Derek. Toafili, plus he's a better running back. I don't know why you'd want to use him as a wide receiver. I think Ja'Kai Douglas is a running back who I think should probably be used more as a receiver. Still not deep enough. Injuries negate quality without quality without quality backups. What position are we not deep enough, Bill? Imagine FSU being undefeated and not being considered to get into the playoff. UCE in the Pac-12, that's college football politics. They're doing everything in their power to get Ohio State in that college football playoff, but no one's talking about USC deserves a shot. What's up with Dent? Nothing. Dent's still on the team. I don't think I haven't heard anything about him leaving or until I hear he's gone. Dent's on the team. Hopefully he comes. I mean, he did have suffer an ankle injury in this offseason, so maybe a year removed from that. Hopefully he comes ready to ball next year. Tomahawk on the helmet. Y'all really want me to put a tomahawk on the helmet for Malik Mclean? The reason I'm kind of hesitant to do it is because that's a guy we already had. I could argue that we should have never decommitted in the first place. I don't want to give us a tomahawk for. But you know what? I think you guys might be right. If anything, you get a tomahawk just for the way you closed out. For keeping Love Taylor, for keeping Coop, for keeping Gaynor, for keeping Cam McDonald. Oh, yeah, getting Malik Mclean. Oh, and George Wilson, who I think has a chance to be a hell of a player. You know what, guys? You're probably right. We probably will slap a tomahawk on this helmet. Not like we've had plenty or a lot of opportunity to do so anyway. Warren Thompson Instagram is pretty interesting. Everything but one pictures of FSU is gone. And he has an eagle symbol posted up. He's blocked people's comments. I would not be shocked if Warren Thompson's gone. I'm actually more shocked that he stuck it out this long. I'm more shocked that Warren Thompson hasn't been opted and transferred out. So it doesn't surprise me. Warren Thompson's just attitude has always been sideways, so that's not surprising. We actually have a good young nucleus. Norvell has potential to build something now that I've said it before, Antonio. The foundation is laid. The team that you saw against Duke. Now, granted, we didn't play for like a whole month, but the team that you saw pretty much that last few games. What were the last few games? Like Pitt, NC State, and Duke. I think those were the last 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. That's the team. That's the foundation going forward. That freshman offensive line, those freshman receivers you saw, those freshman running backs you ended up seeing, those freshman linebackers, the Ronaldo Greens, the Jarvis Brownlees in that secondary. That is your foundation, man. Those guys are good guys that are going to develop, and those guys are going to be starters 2-3 years from now. They'll be your seniors trying to get, NFL type money and stuff like that. The foundation has already been laid. Shout out to Norvell for at least laying the foundation. No house ever looks good when you're just looking at a foundation. There's nothing there. But that doesn't mean you can't build a mansion on top of it. You feel me? The foundation is here, and is it ugly? Sure, it's nothing. It's just land. The foundation just flattened land. Maybe some concrete's been, laid or whatever. But now it's time to start building different layers, different floors. And if we're lucky, maybe we get a jacuzzi in the back, some special stuff. But right now, the foundation is laid. And shout out to Norvell for that, because that's all I ask for. If you're going to lose, man, lose with your guys. Lose with your players. Go out with your guys, your players, and say, you know what? I'm not going to, no disrespect to those other kids, but I didn't recruit you. And you obviously haven't won a thing. That's why I'm the head coach here now. Give me my guys. Let's see if we can turn this thing around, because you guys ain't going to get it done. And he's moved on from guys, and he's using his guys. I'm out on Warren. I just saw Twitter. We offered a walk-on running back, Aaron Rodriguez. Okay. I think Peyton is going to back up Amari at Fox. Yeah, they said they want to start Peyton off at Fox, which makes sense. They want to stand him up. I don't know if he'll be the direct backup to Gainer, because guys like Kavion Gann and Jalen McCluster, man, those guys are going to come on too next year. Watch out for some of these guys, man. Deion Sanders out here building a dynasty at JSU and getting good recruits. He's snatching recruits from other schools. I saw that, man. Shout out to Deion for doing this thing and having the best recruiting class in HBCU history. Hey, man, shout out to that. If Deion Sanders can see, the interesting thing about where Deion Sanders' position is, I don't know how much coaching he really needs to do at an HBCU. If he's just fielding the most talented team, he'll be fine. He'll get another job. The question is going to be once he moves up into Division I. Recruiting was never going to be an issue for Deion. The question is going to be once he gets into that Division I, that D1 stuff, and maybe that Power 5 stuff, can he coach good enough? Because now everybody's recruiting on those levels. Can he coach good enough? But right now, HBCU, man, Deion's on top of the world. And I expect Jacksonville. It's Jacksonville State, right? It's JSU. I expect them to do great things. Yeah, Jacksonville State. I expect them to do great things. Halston Lear, are you worried about Milton's health coming off such a bad injury? Yeah, I am. I've said that. I'm hoping he pushes Jordan Travis, and I wouldn't if Jordan Travis was to win the battle going into next year, that would mean one of two things. Jordan Travis has really, really improved a ton, and maybe Mackenzie Milton isn't 100%. So I am worried about a knee like that coming off of that kind of devastating injury. I am worried about it, but I could also make a case that 80% of Mackenzie Milton might be better than, anything on the roster right now. You could also kind of make that case. So we'll see. Dent not going nowhere. I don't think that's going anywhere either. Antonio Dupree thinks Dent sucks. Milton could be a serious game changer. Fingers crossed. What's the deal with Hill? Hill's waiting until National Signing Day. So no rush for Dustin Hill, but I believe he will be part of this class. Yeah, altogether, I think it's worth a tomahawk for just a step in the right direction. All right, we should do it. 21-7, Oregon's up on USC. I'll turn it up a little bit so y'all can hear a little bit of the audio. Watching the officiating at the ACC Championship on tomorrow. The ACC good old boys wants Clemson to win this game. Mark my words, especially if the game is close in the fourth quarter. Ohio State didn't even play enough games to qualify for the Big Ten. Yeah, and they're going to get into I guarantee you they'll be in the college playoffs too. The foundation, baby. I saw Keyshawn without a knee brace last game. Maybe he can return. I've been begging for them to take that knee brace off of Keyshawn Hill, and he's not the same player with it on. So, absolutely. Hopefully, he can play without that thing next year. And Tyler says Gainer needs more snaps next year. I don't know how you have a weapon like with Gainer and you. Adam Fuller. That's the Adam Fuller. That's the Adam Fuller thing. Someone has to explain to me how you don't know how to use Amari Gainer. Because Adam Fuller's never had a player like Amari Gainer before. That's just the facts. That's why you don't know how to use him. You ain't never had a player like him. It's Adam Fuller, man. Those are the things that I've criticized Fuller about from the jump. I hope and pray this team defensively not only takes a step, but takes about 2 or 3 steps next year. But we'll settle for at least in the initial step. But if he's a good defensive coordinator, he has to understand how to use Amari Gainer. Me personally, I think he best serves you rushing off the edge. But hell, stand him up. Stand him up again next to Steven Dix. I don't know, but there's no reason why Gainer shouldn't even be on the field. Adam Fuller effect, guys. Adam Fuller effect. Jackson State, not Jacksonville. Right, Jackson. I don't know why I said Jacksonville State, but you're right. Jackson State. First time in chat. Good job. See ya. Thanks, Bill, for showing up. FSU offered 2 walk-ons. CJ Campbell, Aaron Rodriguez, both running backs. Leave Dent at corner and move him back to safety. I would leave him at corner personally. He was in the right position at safety. I actually think he was at the right position at corner. I did not like Dent at safety. I thought if you go back and watch Akeem Dent played much more effective when Harlan Barnett was able to actually call a defense and play him at corner. The problem I think Dent had this year was that ankle. I think he broke his ankle. And probably he didn't quite recover from it. Me personally, I think Dent is better at corner. That's just me. Now, the guy I think you should probably move to safety is Jarian Jones. That's the guy I'd move to safety. If only Dent can't flip the switch with him, Brownlee, take Washington, Cooper, cornerback, who has potential. Totally Fisty missed some games this year. You're telling me he wasn't injured. I don't remember him being injured. He missed now the team didn't disclose this, but we found this out later on. He missed, I think, a game or 2 due to back tracing on COVID. I don't think Toafili suffered any injuries. He missed a game or 2 due to back tracing on COVID. I don't know if he tested positive, but they kept him out for precautionary reasons. How the heck was FSU's defense able to contain UNC and they ran circles around us? Our head coaches did not make any adjustments. They only ran 3 plays the whole game. FSU should have a better record this year. Bro, Canes for life, you're going to have to explain that to me too. Granted, I think most of the Florida State fans in this chat will tell you Adam Fuller didn't make any adjustments in that North Carolina game. We kind of got, I hate to say it like this, but we kind of got lucky that North Carolina just ran out of time. Because in that second half, defensively, they were doing whatever they wanted. We had no answer for them offensively in that second half. Adam Fuller didn't make any adjustments. North Carolina made the adjustments. But you guys want it. Tyler wants it. Who else wants it? Who else thinks I should throw a tomahawk? Should I throw a tomahawk on the helmet? As you can see, we only have 2. The only 2 tomahawks I put on the helmet, because I didn't even have tomahawks early in the season. So the only 2 I was able to put on the helmet were Chambry Jackson and the North Carolina win. Should I throw another on here just for the fact that, you know what? We finished strong this year. Should we throw another tomahawk on the helmet? If you think I should put a tomahawk on a helmet, just hit the 1. If you're saying, you know what? No, don't put a tomahawk on the helmet just yet. Save it for Dustin Hill or whoever. Save it for some FSU type standard stuff, then hit 2. Because I'm kind of torn. I kind of want to put a tomahawk on it just for closing strong, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, man, should it have even came down to this? We already had McLean. Should it came down to this? I'm kind of torn on it. Because I want to leave the tomahawks, man, to big time stuff. Why does my helmet have scratches on it like someone was wearing it and hitting the wall? My son. Let's see here. Pat says Adam Fuller isn't the guy. Looks like Dent doesn't trust his technique. I can say that about a lot of our corners, Antonio. I think a lot of them, the ball hits the air and they kind of panic and don't trust what they've been taught. I can agree with that for not just Dent, but a few guys. Jerry Jones being another one. We're going to need Norvell to be the same way with coaches that he is with players. I agree wholeheartedly, Jen. If you're going to hold the players to the standard, then you need to start holding the coaches to the standard. Jose wants a tomahawk. Front seven played out of their mind the first half. They really did. They really did. Just for landing Malik Mclean, Rod Orr, and end the season with a convincing win. Tomahawk it. Okay, everybody wants me to throw a tomahawk on there. Bet. Let me go get them, and we're going to slap a tomahawk on here for our third tomahawk of the season. See how long it takes for us to fill this helmet up. All right. As you see, we got him. I guess we'll throw it on right there. This is a tomahawk requested by you guys, but I support it. And you know what? Just shout out to the staff, man. Because let's face facts. We only won 3 games this year, guys. We only won 3 games this year. Not only did we only win 3 games, every loss was a blowout. Miami put 52 on us. We lost to Georgia Tech. We lost Luke Altmaier. The negatives have done nothing but pile up on us. And you know what? With all that said, FSU's ranked in the top 25 recruiting, which means this thing, no, better yet, this thing holds weight. That logo behind me holds weight. Even with playing bad, this means something. This spear on his helmet means something. That logo means something. We still got a top 25 class. And guess what? We're not done. Shout out to the staff for convincing. Love Taylor could have said, man, I played for a year. I'm good. I don't want to stick around and lose more games. Not saying we're going to lose a bunch of games next year, but you get what I'm saying. It would have been easy for a guy like Devontae Love Taylor, for a guy like Robert Cooper, Cam McDonald, Amari Gaynor. Me personally, I thought Amari Gaynor was going to test his. If I'm Amari Gaynor, this is me personally, and I love this university like not many. I love this university like not many. But if I'm Amari Gaynor, they can't even find snaps for me, and I'm arguably the most talented player on the entire defense. Probably has the highest potential on the entire defense. You can't find snaps for me? I'm going to go pro. But no, Amari Gaynor says, you know what? I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to keep climbing, and I'm going to give him another chance, and we're coming back next year. So shout out to Norvell. Shout out to the staff. Shout out to USC for scoring touchdown. But there you go. We just put our third tomahawk. What do you think? That's too spaced out? Should I make it a little tighter? We'll leave it. We'll leave it. We just threw our third tomahawk on there, man. And just, I think the staff closed strong. Because all in all, this thing could be a lot worse. This whole thing could be a lot worse. And this staff really, and I have not used the pandemic as an excuse all year. Anybody who's watched me all year knows. Everybody's dealing with the pandemic, so I don't use it as an excuse. But dealing with what they've dealt with, man, brand new staff, no Florida connections. You weren't able to visit these high schools. You weren't able to see half of the kids that you signed in the class. You weren't even able to go see them live. You've really had to base everything. You've had to base your entire scouting on huddle highlights and virtual phone calls and this type of crap. Shout out to the staff because they were given a raw hand. If this was a spade hand, they were given a handful of red and maybe 2-3 spades, and yet you know what? They were able to get something out of it. They were able to get at least 4 out of it. They didn't get 10 put on them. They were able to get bored on it. So shout out to them because this thing could have been a lot worse. Save it for Hill. Brandon B, you were late. I already put it on there. I'm just now reading this. Brandon wanted me to save it. But I tell you what, if we get Hill, I'll throw another tomahawk on there. If we get Malone, I'll throw another tomahawk on there. So, and if we Hargrove, I don't know. I may throw one on there for Hargrove too. But hell, if we end the cycle with a bunch of 4 stars, I got a whole thing of tomahawks. We'll be all right. But save it for Hill because I don't think he's coming. But then again, with all the adversity, this is what the nice class overall. You have to put it on correctly. Throw 2 on there just because it's packed in this live chat tonight. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Mackenzie Milton for comeback player of the year. We need a DC like Muschamp. He's at least will hold players accountable. It's Jackson State in Jackson, Mississippi. Yes, sir. We're talking about DBs, but no one has said a word about DB's coach. LOL. Put some of the blame on him. You're right, Brandon. You're not wrong. I will say this. Adam Fuller is a DB coach too. So I know it seems like I'm trying to pile on Adam Fuller, but I mean, if your defensive coordinator is the DB coach, your DBs, I mean, Nick Saban was a DB coach and his DBs are never the issue. Jeremy Pruitt was a DB coach. His DBs are never the issue. Adam Fuller's the DB coach. Yes, Mike Woodson, got it. But Adam Fuller, to me, it all starts with that guy. I'm sorry. When do you think we get a 5-star? Well, looks like that won't be until next year. And that, now we have to keep that man committed. 14-21 Oregon on top of USC. I like Jeff Sims. I believe that you guys missed out on him. He could have been developed really well. He was FSU all the way till you guys turned him away. Do you put the idea of Amari Gaynor leaving? Don't put the idea of that. I had called that early, about a month ago. It was my opinion. I'm glad I'm wrong on it. But my opinion was always, I'm Amari Gaynor. Again, potentially the best player on this team, probably has the highest upside of any player on the team. Why can't I see the field? Why am I only in the game for 20% of the time? Me personally, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Gaynor dipped. Gaynor likes this. He likes wearing this garnet and gold too much. So shout out to Amari Gaynor. Sniper Gang, we already have one in the class of 2022. Right. Nice move. Appreciate you, Jose. We could be in the Auburn situation. They have had the 40. Right. Absolutely. And that's another thing. Since this is a big old love fest today, Gus Malzahn played in the national championship. He's out of a job right now. And Gus Malzahn had been at Auburn for years. Before Gus Malzahn was fired, Auburn was ranked in the 40s. And what's their record? 2-3 wins? I don't know. Whatever Auburn's record is. Jim Harbaugh has been at Michigan for years. What's their record? 2-3 wins? Now they're still recruiting decently, I believe. I don't know what Michigan's recruiting is, but you get what I'm saying? Penn State, James Franklin's been there for years. Norvell hasn't been there as long as any of those tenured coaches who are all considered top coaches in the country. And people want to bash Norvell. Now, I'm not high on everything Norvell's done, but put everything in the context. Norvell is he performing great? No. But Norvell has performed just as good, if not better, than Gus Malzahn, Jim Harbaugh, and James Franklin. Who could have said that at the beginning of the year? What are you going to do for the 1,000 subscribers? Man, I haven't even thought about it. Let's see how long it takes me to get there. But we're definitely going to have to do something big once I reach 1K. Wide receiver should have a breakout year. I hope so. For Dugan's sake, he needs them to. And the quarterback position won't be the excuse anymore because Mackenzie Milton going to get the right guy the ball. So for Dugan's sake and for just the team's sake, yeah, wide receiver needs to come up next year for sure. Pull up next year's schedule, Polk. Just off the top, what do you think our record could be with a healthy Mackenzie Milton? Let me finish the comments and I'll do that one, Tribe. Clemson OC talk. I read that, Rose. Clemson offensive coordinator I believe he is going to interview for the job. I think Steve Sarkisian is also going to interview for that Auburn job. Fair enough. Auburn got Lee Hunter too. It sucks. We had a slot at him. Yeah, that does suck. I was hoping. I'm telling you, man, if Lee Hunter would have not signed early, we would have got him. But he shut it down. Let's look up next year's schedule. I believe we opened the season with Notre Dame. And it's really tough to answer this question because it also depends on FSU, who we get in the transfer portal. How do they fill out the rest of this roster? So next year was going to be. This is the basketball team, damn it, not the football team. Oh, we just threw a pick. Okay, number 26 is slow as molasses. But he's about. Look, he don't even know what to do with the ball in his hands. Got a good game going right here, guys. All right. So the only games that had set dates for next year was Notre Dame, Jacksonville State, and UMass. That Notre Dame game would have been extremely interesting just to see how LSU is next year, Sniper. Just to see, it's so hard for me to really predict any of this because without knowing what the roster's got, because the roster's not going to look like what it looks like right. We already know that quarterback position is going to be completely different, right? I believe the offensive line is not done. We may add a veteran type wide receiver here soon in the portal. Defensively, is going to be interesting to see. So it's really, if we just go, let's just try it. Why not? Let's act like we are a 3-win team. But we are adding Mackenzie Milton. I don't know what Notre Dame's losing or whatnot. We'll count Notre Dame as a loss. We're going to beat Jacksonville State. We're going to beat UMass. We're going to beat Boston College just because Woodbay's there. We're going to beat NC State just because Durgan and Faden are there. So that's 4 wins. I'll still count Clemson as an L. We're going to beat Louisville. Louisville's going to lose a ton of talent. They're losing all that offensive talent they had this year. I'm going to say we would beat Louisville. That's 5 wins. We'd beat Syracuse. That's 6 wins. Hell, we beat North Carolina this year. So as far as I'm concerned, North Carolina, we still own them. That's 7 wins. Then you got Wake Forest and Miami and Florida left. No Trask for Florida. Florida should be beatable, but I'll say that's a loss just for the hell of it. Where am I at? 6 or 7 wins right now. And then Miami. They'll be bringing De'Aaron King back, but as of right now, man, I think if FSU won 7 wins, people wouldn't be ecstatic, but I think you definitely gotta see how 7 wins would be a plus for this team. Now you're bringing Mackenzie Milton, you're saying, oh, we got to do better than 7 wins, and I kind of agree with you. Depending on how this roster shapes out, you can be a 7-8 win team next year. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if you were better either. All those coaches you mentioned walked into a better situation than Norvell. Norvell walked into a mess. That's my point, though, Canes. All those coaches have better situations that I just mentioned, and Norvell has all but outperformed them, has he not? I mean, Norvell, given his situation, should be in a worse position, and he's actually in a better position than, Harbaugh's probably finna get fired. Gus Malzahn's already been fired. I don't know what they're going to do with James Franklin, but after this year, next year, he's going to be on the hot seat. Wide receiver Alex Harris, former UCF receiver, who certainly is close with FSU signing Mackenzie Milton in the portal. That's a veteran receiver that I would almost argue you got to bring over, because you're going to want somebody for Milton to have some type of chemistry with. There you go. And you're going to need a leadership in that wide receiver room that can sort of convey what Milton kind of wants, what he's looking for. I think that might be, a guy to go to. Maybe Fuller system works with the younger, hungry guys next season. I'm trying to give him a benefit of the doubt, man. I said we go 7-5. I thought we played LSU week 1. That's next year. Sniper, not next. That's 2022. Next year's schedule, rough looking towards. Yeah. But let's be honest, LSU is not exactly. He should have just ran for the first. LSU ain't necessarily hasn't looked great. So LSU's kind of got to do their own thing too. Get ready for that 2022 year. That's going to be the toughest defensive Milton has gone against. Wouldn't even mind Travis starting that game. He already had some success against them. Sniper game, that would be 2022. Open with Notre Dame. Yikes. Notre Dame quarterback going to be gone. Right. It's all going to come down to what Notre Dame is exactly losing this year. The whole team going to look different for the better. I agree. Did he miss that? He did miss it. It looked like he pushed it. He missed it. I thought King is a senior, but this year doesn't count against eligibility. King can come back if he wants. And Miami fans all seem to believe that he's coming back. So who is a good route runner wide receiver that we have on the roster right now? If we're talking about guys that we got on the roster right now as route runners, probably Keyshawn Helton. It's probably your best route runner. Pookie Wilson's a solid route runner. Everybody else, in my opinion, leaves a lot to be desired. Haven't seen enough of like Brian Robinson or anything, but I think Warren Thompson's not great. Portier's not great. Everybody else, Jordan Young's not great. We might not even see Jordan Young next year either. Yeah. Everybody else besides probably those two leave a lot to be desired when you're talking running routes. I think Portier needs a bigger role. Give him some opportunities Toafilia's had and see what he can do. They've played, here's the thing, Evan, I hear you, but I think we're forgetting against Louisville, against these last few games, Portier has been, once Terry opted out, Portier's been in the rotation. Against Duke, he only had 1 catch. But he was out there almost every play. It's not like they're not playing him. How many touchdown drops did he have against Louisville? I know for a fact he dropped. Now, they were on the same drive, so ultimately they would have counted for just 1 touchdown. He had like 2 or 3 touchdown drops on the same. They kept targeting him with the back shoulder fade, and he not kept not coming up with the ball. So they tried to get Portier involved. He just, learning year. Comes back next year. Let's see what he has. If you could pick one player from the 2013 team to add to this roster, Cam Irving. Just off the top of my head, Cam Irving. And if not Cam Irving on that offensive line, I think he would completely change the dynamic of the offense. Because if you can block for him, I'm whole man. Especially with Mackenzie Milton. Now, we're assuming we have Mackenzie Milton or this pre-Mackenzie Milton with Jordan Travis. Because we're talking pre-Mackenzie Milton with Jordan Travis. I might go Telvin Smith. Telvin Smith. Yeah, Telvin Smith. That's just me. But if I got Mackenzie Milton, yeah, give me Cam Irving. And I think you'll see that offense open up. Cam Milton or Rashard Green for offense. And defensively, I would take Telvin or that's a tough one. Either Telvin or see, I hear you on Jernigan. My thing is we're kind of, even if the interior line didn't play up to what we thought, I still think we're solid there. That 13 team didn't exactly have a dominant pass rusher. So like you want to say maybe Mario Edwards, but Mario Edwards, while he was good, he wasn't a dominant pass rusher. That 13 team defensively made its money off of penetrating sort of up the middle with Jernigan and then getting a lot of turnovers. So if I can add PJ Williams at corner, because I think our safeties are fine. Like, obviously, remember, Jalen Ramsey played safety that 2013 team. So like maybe PJ Williams or Ronald Darby on defense along with Telvin Smith. Especially if I'm only picking one guy. But offensively, give me Cam Irving, because then I can move Love Taylor down. And with a solid offensive line, I think that offense would blow up. Yeah, that's just me. All the dudes you name just creates no separation at all. They asked who is the best route runner on the team. That's all we got. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? I think Helton and Ontario Wilson are the best route runners on the team. I'm not saying they're great route runners. I'm just saying, who else would you say? Because everybody else, I know they're not the best. Wilder Jr. on Twitter recruiting Charles Montgomery, who just decommitted from Florida. Jalen Ramsey. He says he'll pick Jalen Ramsey. All the good skill players in Florida, we can't get any. Jernigan, Telvin a good one. Ramsey, Joyner. He gonna bring that grit back to FSU. Would they transfer being so frustrated? What you mean, Project Dynasty? Or Joyner. Kenny Shaw to show these boys how to catch a damn football. I mean, Rashard Green didn't drop any balls either. So give me Rashard Green, who not only caught the ball just as well as Kenny Shaw, but could also make plays after the catch, unlike Kenny Shaw. I take Rashard over Kenny. Joyner. In the transfer portal, John Dumore from Penn State was a real good route runner out of high school. Dumore's going to FAU. He already announced that. He's going to FAU. Joyner was a dog. He played safety, but he can play corner too. I know, but I'm trying to just use it as how they were used in that team. I'd say Timmy says a lot about the wide receivers on the team. Demore Tate gonna pop off next year. I hope so. We're halftime here at Oregon and USC, and this is the Pac-12 championship game. How would you pick Ramsey? He was a true freshman. He did have that confidence in Moxie, though. I didn't pick him. But I think you would pick Ramsey just off of talent, but I agree, like, if you're going to pick a safety from that team, I mean, Terrence Brooks and LaMarcus Joyner before Ramsey. I don't got the link for it, but it is on Fox if you have cable. So we're watching it in the background right here. We need Tate to be productive next year, no doubt. Absolutely. Tate is too good not to be good, if you know what I mean. I mean, you gotta Tate is legit 6'2". I mean, that he's legit big corner. Yeah, we need that. Shout out to the new subscribers. Shout out to Big Man 61. Shout out to MV1. Shout out to Reach A. I don't know how to pronounce this one, but it looks like Reach A Discillin. And shout out to Josh Howard. So tonight we ended up with 4 new subscribers. So shout out to the new subscribers, bringing us up to 657. The community continues to grow every single episode. We still 50 plus strong. Hit the like button. Come on now, guys. I'm mad we didn't get the kid Timothy Chatfield in 2012 from Miami Central. He would have been a huge impact with Devontae Freeman kid. Jail time killed his career. Should go after Mark. I agree, Bundy. Marcus Fleming out of Miami, the Nebraska transfer, I think is a guy they should be looking at. They should be looking at him, in my opinion. Is Kenneth Gainwell transferring or going to the league? Because he played well under Norvell his freshman year. I haven't heard, Evan. What would Kelvin do on this roster? The problem with Kelvin was in a unique position in that 13 team. There was so much leadership around him. Kelvin was just a physical freak. He didn't have to be a leader. On this team, I don't know if Kelvin Benjamin would excel. For one, they don't have a quarterback to get him the ball in the ways that Jameis could put the ball. Jameis could put the ball where no one could get it but Kelvin Benjamin. We don't have a quarterback that can do that. And then just the attitude thing. I don't see Kelvin Benjamin as a leader. So when everybody else starts falling into their funks, or I see Kelvin Benjamin as more following the crew than taking this receiving core and leading it. So I don't think Kelvin Benjamin would be the best. Kelvin needs something. Kelvin needs leadership beside him. I mean, you could see what he did in the pros while being productive when he was in shape. He all but ate his way out of the league, just constantly showing up out of shape. He didn't have a lot of discipline. Is it definite that Demore Tate will qualify? I think it's a very similar situation that Travis J had. I don't see why he wouldn't. Remember last year, Travis J did not qualify and has played every game this year. I think it's going to be a very similar situation where, I mean, you haven't been playing football, so your whole focus should be on your school, your grades, and all of that. If he doesn't qualify for a second year, that's his fault. And have some self-discipline, get your grades up. I mean, that should be your focus this year, period. Pandemic, it's not like you've really been able to go anywhere. Granted, it is Florida. You can go wherever you want in Florida with no mask. It doesn't really matter. But, point still kind of stands. Get your grades together. You've had all the time in the world to do it. Travis Hunter, that's going to be our next 5-star. Hopefully we keep him, man. Rutgers and Nebraska. Tate closing speed is going to be lethal if he gets to play next year. UGA O-line in the portal. He has bond with Alex Atkins. Warchant says Atkins is very tight with a lot of O-line prospects in that area. If you could offer a nice situation with a better QB now. UJ kid is a high 4-star. Bro, we got to add something. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why Michael Langston said we were done in the portal. Unless he maybe meant for that specific position group. And even then, I don't know why you wouldn't add a veteran receiver if one was interested in coming. I don't think they're going to be done in the portal, man. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it already. But there you have it, folks. I mean, ultimately, that is really it. I don't really have much else right now. We just shooting the shooting the breeze, as they say. What's up, woman?
I want you to take clothes upstairs.
Give me a minute. Who's your favorite tailback? Oh, it was my favorite guy's always been Toafili. Even when LaDamian Webb was on the team, I was still a Toafili guy. Thoughts on the linebacker group next year? They should develop, should continue to improve. They got to improve in coverage. That's the main weakness of this group. If you don't add any transfers at the linebacker position, you're putting a lot of pressure on those young guys to improve to the point where they're no longer a liability in coverage. So that all remains to be seen. Projected record next year with Norvell's class under his belt. What grade do you give? Right now, with the addition of Malik Mclean and George Wilson, I'm still going to stay at the about C plus range at this class. We are in the top 25, so that's a plus. I still think we missed out on a lot of potential stuff. I'm not going to pretend like this. I'm not going to tell like getting Malik Mclean makes up for Altmaier, makes up for Brandon Jennings, makes up for not even being in the running for Corey Collier, Amari Harvey, and Terrion Arnold, right? So I'm going to go C plus. What do I think of Malik? I talked about Malik for a while, man. I think Malik's legit. Now he's a bit raw in some areas. Physically, he's gifted. Does he need to become a better football player? Absolutely. Will he have a chance to compete day one? I believe so. He's gonna bring a different level of dimensions and stuff that no one else is really gonna be able to bring to that team. Will Nebraska ever be back? No, I don't think so either. Just for the simple fact, man, I think it's hard to get kids to want to come all the way to Nebraska. Like, this isn't the 90s anymore. Kids don't want to go to Nebraska. What's in Nebraska? I don't know what's in Nebraska. I've never been. I don't see them kids wanting to go there. Polk, I'm from Groveland, Lake County, Florida. What city you from? I am from Lakeland, Florida. All right, I currently live in all the way across the Pacific Ocean in Hawaii, but originally Lakeland, Florida, and Polk County. But we went 2 hours strong. I know I still got 47 people, but I'm going to call it a night tonight. Thanks everybody that tuned in. Tomorrow there will be no show. Priscilla Chestnut, thank you for showing up. First time I think I've seen you in here. Hit that like button and subscribe. And Project Dynasty is from Arcadia. Awesome. Florida, stand up. FSU fans, stand up. Won't be doing anything tomorrow since there's no game. Plus, I have to work, unfortunately, on a Saturday. But Sunday should be a different story if I'm not too tired. And if you didn't hit the like button on your way in, by all means, please hit that like button on your way out. Thank you, Tyler. And of course, this was 863. Of course, you tuned into 863 Seminole TV. And I'm your host, Polk, a.k.a. AloMoney, a.k.a. The Goddamn Truth. Stay classy, Seminoles. And we at you, baby. I will see you guys next time. Thanks, everybody in the chat, as always.